I believe I'm live. Hello. Hey, people. Okay, here we go. Some of you may know I play the guitar, and I would like to take you back today and do some songs that I grew up with in the summers at music festivals in southwestern Ontario. I lived in London. I was a London kid, so Home County Folk Festival was my my home for many, many, many years. And I played at the Festival of Friends in Hamilton. I played at Summer Folk. I played up in Petawawa a couple of times. It was great when I ended up with the Dystonics doing rock and roll in the early 20-teens because they played a lot of the stuff that they listened to in high school, and I knew none of it because this is the stuff that I grew up listening to. It's kind of a come and go event, so here we go. Sure, it's true if you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. Millions of hearts were broken just because those words were spoken. I love you, yes I do, I love you. And if you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure when it's true, when you say I love you, it's a sin to tell a lie. Guitar. Millions of hearts were broken just because those words were spoken. I love you, yes I do, I love you. And if you break my heart, well, I never liked you that much anyway. So be sure that it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. It's a sin to tell a lie. Hello, people. Welcome. As you may know, if you tuned to the last concert, I have this little wire that buzzes in the back of the guitar that occasionally acts up, but this is what we have in quarantine, so I'm going to make the best of it. Anyone who is joining me from the home county days is going to remember that from probably 1974 when it started right through to the end of his performing career, there was exactly one way that the festival opened every summer, and that was with Jackie Washington. And Jackie Washington was born in Hamilton, grew up in Hamilton, and his mother famously cooked. Had 13 kids and famously cooked for every big band that came up through Hamilton in the days before recording, so the 20s and 30s. You know, Benny Goodman and Duke Ellington and Harry James would all... It was well known that if you came to Canada, you'd stop at the Washington House and they'd feed you. And he started playing around the years... around, you know, the age of 5, so probably the 20s. And just learned from all these people, had an incredible repository of songs, and opened the festival every year. And this was a song that I learned from Jackie. I've heard it later played by Nat King Cole, but Jackie's still the way I remember it. And so I can't think of a better way to start than with this wonderful song which I send out to all the vegetarians and all the vegans, because this was in some ways ahead of its time, but in other ways nobody quite knew what to make of it. It's called Save the Bones for Henry Jones. Tonight we'll have a supper, we'll eat some food that's rare, and at the head of the table we're gonna place Brother Henry's chair. Invite all the local big dogs to laugh and talk and eat, and we'll save the bones for Henry Jones, 'cause Henry don't eat no meat. Oh, today I'll go to market and buy up a lot of fish, and that should thrill Brother Henry, 'cause fish is his special dish. Pick up a can of molasses so he'll have something sweet, and we'll save the bones for Henry Jones, 'cause Henry don't eat no meat. Well, he's not much of a drinker, I've rarely seen him take a nip, and Henry don't need no napkin, 'cause the stuff he eats don't drip. Last night we had a banquet, it really was a bait. We started off with the short ribs and we finished up the steak, but when the feast was over, Brother Henry just kept his seat, and we served the bones to Henry Jones, 'cause Henry don't eat no meat. He's not much of a drinker, I've rarely seen him take a nip, and Henry don't need no napkin, 'cause the stuff he eats don't drip. Last night we had a banquet, it really was a bait, and we started off with short ribs and we finished off with steak and cake, but when the feast was over, Brother Henry just kept his seat, and we served the bones to Henry Jones, 'cause Henry don't eat no meat. He's an eggman, Henry don't eat no meat. Vegetarian, Henry don't eat no meat. That's for Jackie. Where to go from here? I'm starting to realize I should have done this many years ago. Tonight we'll be revisiting a whole lot of wonderful songwriters who are with us, wonderful songwriters who are not with us, and I started doing this in 1996. I played my first open stage, and then I did my first show with the Flyers in about 2000. And between 2000 and now, we've lost a lot of wonderful people. Certainly one of them is a songwriter by the name of Willie P. Bennett, who I could really just do a whole concert of his songs and it would be fantastic. But this one is off an album called Hobo's Taunt from 1977. This is what happens when you get a live show. but you're regretting the ticket price now. Well, you get what you pay for. If you got lace, pretty flowers, you got your baby to get her under your powers. You got silk, sweet perfumes. You know she might come up to your room. But if you got soul, you know she's gonna bowl you over. And when my baby rolls me over, I feel like I wanna fly. I feel like I wanna fly. You got satin, lots of money, diamond rings and such things to trap your honey. Got big black cars, you wanna let her ride. You give it all to her, she might come over to your side. But if you got love and a deep devotion, it gets just as deep as the ocean, with just you two inside. Just you two inside. You got a house, a mansion in the country. Give it all to her, she could still be empty. You could be the richest man in the world, but there's nothing I know of could buy you the heart of a girl. But if you got love and a deep devotion, it gets just as deep as the ocean, with just you two inside. Just you two inside. Willie P. Bennett, Lace and Pretty Flowers, 1977. And that one, there's apocryphal stories that I'm sure are true, because all the Willie P. Bennett stories are true except when they're under-exaggerated. That he tended to move around, he had a big voice, and I think they had to put him laying down to record a lot of that album just to capture them on the technology of the time. And this next song is semi-related. This was an old blues song from the States. I first heard this one from David Essig, who produced the Willie P. Bennett album that song was on. And it's really, really interesting to just listen to all this music and see who comes up where, because everybody moves in circles. And David Essig came up from the States with this incredible wealth of blues songs, having met and played with Mississippi John Hurt and I think Skip James and a bunch of these people. I'm just going to play it. It's called Candyman. And I'm not entirely sure, now that I'm like in my 30s, I'm not entirely sure it's about candy, but I'll leave that to you to decide. All you ladies gather round, the good sweet candy man's in town. Here's the candy man, here's the candy man. He's got some sticky candy, most 9-inch long, and he sells it as fast as a hog can chew his corn. Here's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man. All heard Sister Johnson say his big sticky candy don't melt away. He's the candy man, he's the candy man. He sold some candy at his sister Val. The very next day she took all he had. He's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man. You and the candy man are getting mighty sick on home. Oh yeah, you must be stuck on the Candyman stick on home. Oh yeah. Sister Johnson says, big sticky candy don't melt away. He's the candy man, he's the candy man. If you try his candy, good friend of mine, you're sure gonna want it for a long time. Mr. Candy Man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man. You and the candy man are getting mighty sick on home. Oh yeah, you must be stuck on the Candyman stick on home. Oh yeah. Listen up, ladies, and gather round. The good sweet candy man's in town. He's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man, he's the candy man. That one's probably, there's no telling how old that song is. I don't know whether Mississippi John Hurt wrote it, whether he was the first person to record it, whether it came from out of the ether. I've been privileged enough to have a couple of friends in my time whose songs have gone on to lose their names. They've written some things that have been performed so much that now they're just presumed to be trad, which is a nice feeling. I'm going to do one of mine. This is for people who are new to the channel and haven't seen me shamelessly plug everything yet. This is a song off my CD, Desolation Sound, which is available now, widely available. It's just gone on super cheap on Bandcamp, where you can get the tracks without the disc, but I still have plenty of these things floating around. This was a song, CD that I did in combination tribute to coastal BC, where I spent about 10 years, and also to the festival scene that I grew up on. And so this is a song called Duncan Street Ruby that, I don't know, it always had Lightfoot vibes to me, but I'll leave it to you to decide. It's a sin to be seen after dark in this town, in the mouths of the widows who talk. It's a crime after sunset to come wandering down through the storefronts to silently stalk. So in twilight we come, when the light's burning low, like a yard fire that's dying with no place to go. There are nights, there are days when everything's gray, like a half-rendered dream in the night. From the words of my wife to the years of my life, I have milled into sawdust and spite. But she gave me her hand as we stood on the stair, and I swear I saw gold in the gold of her hair. My Duncan Street Ruby, where can you be? Where can you be? And she says the big city's just a prison for pretty girls. They have no chains, only nurses and shelters with angels for your veins. And the faces keep changing there. Nobody knows you, at least no one who pays. In this town she's a shadow, a rouge desperado. All she can count are the days. It's a long shroud of fog on the water tonight. All the islands are lost in the dust. There's a cold northern wind round my collar at the light, where it picks up the grit and the dust. And the sun's going down on the hills to the west. Then she's laying her curls on their shadowy breast. My Duncan Street Ruby, where can you be? Where can you be? And she says the big city's just a prison for pretty girls, but they have no chains, only nurses and shelters with angels for your veins. And the faces keep changing there. Nobody knows you, at least no one who pays. In this town she's a shadow, a rouge desperado. All she can count are the days. The night has come down, all the young folks are held, huddled close round their joints in the dark. For the ghost of an hour, I've been drifting about like a dry leaf in search of a spark. Guess she's finally gone to the needle or the brine, to the white band for one at the end of her line. My Duncan Street Ruby, where can you be? Where can you be, my Duncan straight ruby? Where can you be? Where can you be? Where can you be? This is a song called Pawnshop Heart, and this is a new one. This is not on the CD, but I'm pretty happy with how the video quality is doing. I shot the last show on a little webcam, and I'm doing this one on my phone, oddly enough. And it seems to be holding up all right. So it'd be nice to have a record of this song. So here we go. Be nicer even to have it in tune. That's something I affectionately call the Prine bump, after John Prine. When I'm feeling down, I go back to my hometown, get lost among the strip malls there. Walking past your house, past places where we met, the ones I never will forget. A pawn shop clings to life between two burnt out stores that wear their signs like gravestones. I'm in to take a look, comfort by a worn out book before my money's gone. I can't go home believing in immortal things. Surprised I made it here at all. I drove 5,000 miles to you on busted springs, only to break down in the fall. Saw you on the shelf, tucked in with all the coins. I never thought I'd find you there. I bought you that myself, who else's could it be? I bought it back when things were free, and so were we. I won't be free again, I'm not what I was then. I've been forlorn and now forsaken. The clasp was bent, the glass was broke, I bought it as a joke. What are hearts for if not for breaking? And I keep leaning on immortal things. Was I fool to even try? Once your pawn shop heart gave me barbed wire wings, but I guess the walls just got too high, and neither have my wings to fly. My heart was in your hands, as your heart was in mine. I guess all things get lost in time. I walked home in the rain, past places where we met, the ones that aren't forgotten yet. I keep on believing in immortal things. Here's a 8 to follow a song in G capo 2 with another song in G capo 2, but not everyone has approaches these things with a you know, the sadness that comes with a heartbreak song. Part of what I love about traditional jazz and the blues is that you get these songs about really miserable things, and they're just really happy songs. I mean, you get the same thing with the Carter family, and you know, really jumping, happy, you know, up-tempo songs about, you know, the Undertaker, or, you know, taking away family members, and all this really grim stuff. And they always seem to find a beat and get happy singing about it. So this is a song by Mose Scarlett, a regular mainstay of the festival circuit. He played with Jackie Washington and Ken Whiteley a lot, and he was a godsend for me after I turned about 15 and my voice started to drop, because all the pop songs on the radio in the 90s were things like Savage Garden, and it's just not in my range. I loved you before I met you. It's really, really high stuff. And Mose Scarlett had this voice that just had 6 basements that just went on for days. I don't know if he had a bottom note, but it was a really resonant voice, and miss his music a lot as well. And so here's a Mose Scarlett song in the original key, because I can. There we go. In a fairy tale I found you, and I knew there could not be more bountiful a treasure than the one that you promised me. But now the story's over, you gone and left me blue. All the cats got into your cauldron, honey, and I wonder who's got into you. Well, I'm down in a funk, I'm about to get drunk just to feel that I can make it by. For that old Muscatel, it goes all too well with a stomach full of humble pie. Fairy tales had happy endings, as I hoped that ours would be. I never thought you'd be so happy, just to think you'd seen the last of me. It's a nursery rhyme of nightmares, tell me what am I to do? The cow jumps over the moon now, honey, but how will I get over you? Well, I'm down on my knees, I'm begging you please, don't you leave me here to sit and sigh. For that old Muscatel, it goes all too well with a stomach full of humble pie. Well, it's a nursery rhyme of nightmares my whole world is going through. Since the dish ran away with the spoon now, honey, and the devil ran away with you. I'm begging you, please, don't you leave me here to sit and sigh. For that old Muscatel, it goes all too well with a stomach full of humble pie. Well, it's a nursery rhyme of nightmares my whole world is going through. Since the dish ran away with the spoon now, honey, and the devil ran away with you. See, it's so much happier. It's nice to have a good old downer from time to time. I never thought of this one as a downer. This one is one of mine, and I don't know. It's for the musicians because I imagine like with a set list like this, we're gonna get a few people turning out who are musicians, and anybody who's played in the right kind of bar on the right kind of night in the right kind of not particularly developed section of Canada will relate to this one. This is off Desolation Sound, a CD which is available now. And here's a song called Love Is in the Air Tonight, which has nothing to do with the Phil Collins, I'm sorry to say. I've been feeling cold. I've been feeling coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. So the thing is, if I do that, I have to put it on the. If I do more than 30 seconds of that, I have to put it on the set list when I report this. And Phil Collins is doing okay. So here's Love Is in the Air Tonight. Well, the server's skirts are shorter than the sets between the breaks, as the TV poker dealer flips the flops and ups the stakes. The old men clutch their tickets while the young ones clutch their beers, and the sheriff glance in passing thrown across the sea of years. There's Levon in his city shirt, he's slithering up the bar. All the girls who know are scattering like a flock before a car. Well, he rolls them in his snake eyes and he says he likes their style, while he saws through their resolve with his prepared piano smile. That's a John Cage joke. And the jukebox sings again, and the carpet stains are earth from Murray footsteps, and the dance begins again. Love is in the air tonight, in the air tonight. You can smell its desperate trail. Oh, restless beings searching for delight. Love is in the air tonight, so try not to inhale. Well, the boys who work construction in their checkered flannel shirts draw a dotted line, a double shots, and down until it burns. And the college grad behind the bar came home to spin the wheel. Now he spends his evenings pouring drinks, his weekdays pouring steel. There's Hetty from the market in her brand new coat of face, with her lips of Lexus burgundy and slips of Texas lace. She's eyeing that bartender, and he knows he'll never see another champion champagne Havisham half so ravishing as she. And the jukebox sings again, and the carpet stains are our Thornbury footsteps, and the dance begins again. Love is in the air tonight, in the air tonight. You can smell its desperate trail, oh, restless beings searching for delight. Love is in the air tonight, so try not to inhale. Remember you from Saturday when I was playing late, and I do believe you're chasing me. Or am I chasing you now? It's so hard to keep it straight. Would you like to have a drink with me? I don't know who you are tonight behind your press-on smile. We're just dying embers in the dark, but that could last us for a while. And the jukebox sings again. Love is in the air tonight, in the air tonight. You can smell its desperate trail, oh, restless beings searching for delight. Love is in the air tonight, so try not to inhale. That's a song I wrote, I guess, back in 2010, 2011, somewhere around there, which didn't seem like 10 years ago at the time, which is, I mean, natural, I suppose. One of the very first people at Home County who came out and was supportive of my, the thing I did. The very first year I did the open stage, which is there's like the band shell, which is the one you see in my, the advertising image for this little concert. And then there's the north and the center and the south stages, which are smaller stages. And then there's the open stage, which is the smaller yet stage. No, there's the children's stage, which is, of course, small. And then there's the open stage, which is smaller than the children's stage, and that's where I started. And one of the first people to come by and appreciate this teenage kid's weird little cynical songs was Doug McArthur. Who was, I don't know if he remembers, but I played a song about, I think I was bitter at the time about all the, like, 13-year-old pop stars that were getting on TV, and I did a song about that shall not see the light of day, because it was pretty awful. But I will never forget the encouragement that I got from a very young age from Doug. This is a song I didn't even know was his the first time I heard it, but that's just because it's been so deeply beloved and widely covered by so many people, and it's I don't know if I can do it justice with one guitar, because it's one of those songs that has a real rhythm to it, but I do all this florid stuff, but I credit Bert Baumbach from the Dixie Flyers more than anything with teaching me how to stop doing noodly things and just play a straight driving rhythm. Nobody had. He was like the Ringo Starr of guitar players, which is to say that he had a certain set of what he could do. But within that set, like you'd never heard a guy with more steady, perfect, like rail driving timing, and I'm grateful for that too. So here's a Doug McArthur song called "Boots and Saddles." Boots and saddles on the Penn State line. A dusty roadhouse, 1949, and it's Betty's first week working, and the day is going slow. She's very pretty and Joe's her first date. Up come a station wagon from out of state, and out from the back steps Bill Monroe. Blue Guys boys are quite a sight. Hours from home, they've been driving all night. Time for a pit stop and coffee to go. Pours his coffee and is oh so polite. And yes, they're playing at the Opry tonight, and maybe she might like to go. She spills the coffee and she don't feel the burn. And just that moment, her whole world turns, 'cause up from the pumps comes good old Grease Monkey Joe. She loves the fiddle and the mandolin. Nashville's a town she ain't never been, and it breaks her heart that she can't go. Boots and saddles and they're gone. Ride the gray highway till dawn. Sometimes for the money, sometimes for the song. Boots and saddles, and they're gone. 10 years later, she's married now. She does the job, she don't know how. When up comes the tarmac, comes a long black limousine. Flash of jewelry and some bodyguards. Joe's at the window and he's staring hard. He says, "My God, Betty, I do believe it's the king." She brings the coffee to the limo door. A flash of dark eyes and something more. The most beautiful smile she's ever seen. Boots and saddles, and they're gone. Ride the gray highway till dawn. Sometimes for the money, sometimes for the song. Ooh, boots and saddles, and they're gone. Late at night and the lights are low. There ain't no Betty, there ain't no Joe. There's just me and my flat top playing in the light. But every morning in the motels of the land, another pot of coffee starts another country band. They'll be out on the road, they'll be working all night, working night. You know, I love the fiddle and the mandolin. And Nashville's a town I ain't never been, and it breaks my heart that I can't go. Boots and saddles, and they're gone. Ride the gray highway saddles, and they're gone. Boots and saddles, and they're gone. Ride the gray highway till dawn. Sometimes for the money, sometimes for the song. Boots and saddles, and they're gone. Boots and saddles, and they're gone. It's been a long time since I played that. Don't know if I've ever played that one for people before. But I'm increasingly finding whole generations that haven't heard what I've heard, and it's really a nice feeling to go back and find some of these songs. So tonight, if you're listening, and this live stream will get recorded, you've heard songs by Jackie Washington, Mose, Scarlett, Willie P. Bennett, a Mississippi John Hurt song by David Essig, a couple by me, and a song by Doug McArthur. And, look them up, because there's, CDs and CDs out there, and there's so many good songs. I always play, I have a deep and abiding love for Michael Smith's The Dutchman, because there was a time when every folkie in the world knew that song, and I play it often, probably more often than I should, just because it's a song that people should know is out there. That song, Boots and Saddles, I discovered it not from Doug McArthur, but the first place I ever heard it was on a live album by Mark Haines. Mark Haines and Tom Layton are a fiddle accordion duo. That Mark Haines had a little touring band called the Zippers, and they did all kinds of great covers, and they covered Boots and Saddles, and that's the first place I ever heard it. And so I figured, nice segue from there is to go into another wistful song. This is one of Mark Haynes' songs, and it has shades of a certain, it's perhaps not as romantic as I imagined it to be. Again, when I was a kid, you don't pick up on the finer subtleties of these songs. This is a song that's called Does This Mean It's Over? A song of great and terrible heartbreak. I smooth back my hair, I ask, are you there? You say, come in. I thrill to your call, I turn the knob, and the door swings in. But you're there with him, my best friend Jim, darling. Say it's not so, not again. Does this mean it's over? Or is he just a good friend? Does this mean it's over? Or I hear you say you love me again. In a small cafe that was out of the way, I lit a candle. I waited for you there alone, to the music of the mandolin. But when you walked in with him, darling. Say it's not so, not again. Does this mean it's over? Or is he just a good friend? Does this mean it's over, or will I hear you say you love me again? Darling, tell me why, when I call, he answers the phone for you. And when we two have agreed to rendezvous, is a chance that he's there too. There's a ring on your finger I don't recognize. These shorts in my drawer are not mine. Does this mean it's over? Or do you just need more time? Does this mean it's over, or should I just wait? Till you make up your mind. Does this mean it's over? That is a song that changes in many ways as you grow up. And just to show that I'm not entirely sentimental, here's another favorite. I'm not sure how many. Oh, hello, welcome new people. Hi John Paul, hi Amanda Lynn. This is one that I feel increasing kinship with every day. This is a song that came from Joe Hall. I don't know if anyone from the festival crowd remembers. Joe Hall and the Continental Drift was the name of his band. And there were, there were some wacky songs that he did, and really, really good ones. This is the one that I probably feel, appropriately enough, good kinship with, and it's appropriately called Middle-Aged Guys with Guitars, which I increasingly become with every passing year. Middle-aged guys with guitars who think that they're rock and roll stars got this club where they wander around from town to town getting drunk in public. Middle-aged guys with guitars can't remember where they park their cars, so they stumble around town till they remember, oh that's right, they took the bus. And if you ask them, they'd say they got no destination. They're just running around, ruining their lives and their reputation. Oh, middle-aged guys with guitars, playing young, playing chords, playing bars, with audiences sitting around discussing wingnuts and politics and hey, who's this guy? He's a middle-aged guy just like me. I don't see him on no MTV. He's kind of like his ZZ Top without the shades, without the beards, without the band. And if you ask him, he'd say he has no ambition. He just hopes that when he retires, they're gonna have some room left down at the mission. Sure have fun driving fast, and there's more words in there, but I can't remember them. Though they do spend a lot of time talking to God on the big white telephone. Our middle-aged guys sure feel swell when they're sitting back at the hotel discussing the finer points of meaning with someone who's 20 years younger. And if you ask them, what do you want to grow up to be? They say, well, someday I hope to be able to play in some other key besides A or E. Oh, middle-aged guys with guitars who think that they're rock and roll stars got this club where they wander around town to town, getting drunk in public. That song is just one in-joke on top of another, I suspect. Because a lot of these came out of generations that I was only peripherally there for. I was of a generation, like my dad passed away in 1999 at the age of 46, and he was still in the Dixie Flyers at the time, and I was going to fill in for a little while, which ended up being about 6 years, playing bass, and we were ultimately going to be in the band at the same time for a little while, and that never materialized. I think we played one rehearsal together, and that was it. And so in my head, I have two distinct periods of festivals in my life. One was when I was there as the kid, as my dad's kid, and not really taking any of it seriously, other than just liking the music and being there as a fan. And then the next time was after about a year gap, I came back and I was playing, and it was a different thing. But I still remember a few people from the before days. Before I do anything too pyrotechnic, I should do a Dixie Flyers song, just because I spent a lot of time with them, and I learned a lot from them. And I remember people had their favorite songs for sure, and their songs that don't get heard much anymore. So here's a Bert Baumbach had two favorite singers. They were Jimmy Martin and Merle Haggard. Here's a Merle Haggard song that came out of the Flyers shows. Well, the first time we met was a favorite memory of mine. They say time changes all it pertains to, but your memory is much stronger than time. I guess everything does change, except when we choose to recall. There's a million good dreams to dream on, but baby, you are my favorite memory of all. Like the night we made love in the hallway, we slept all night long on the floor. Like the winter we spent on Lake Erie alone, closer than ever before. I remember that Thamesford vacation. It was you who made it all seem a ball. There's a million good dreams I could dwell on, but baby, you are my favorite memory of all. Well, the first time we met was a favorite memory of mine. Of course, time changes all it pertains to, but your memory is much stronger than time. Yes, everything does change, except when we choose to recall. There's a million good dreams I could dream on, but baby, you are my favorite memory of all. Country bluegrass done the old way. And that brings us to another exciting part of the show. I've have been to a couple of Flyers reunions over the years, and they've just had a couple of really good ones. And I think that either the 30th or the 35th was the year that I think we got almost everybody back. And one of the great memories of playing with the Flyers is there was the four of us. There was Bert Baumbach, Ken Palmer, me on bass, and Paul Hurdle was the banjo player during my tenure there. And there's all kinds of people, great people that came through the band. We've had great banjo players, Dave Jack and Dave Talbot and Dennis LePage and my dad. And Bert and Ken were kind of the Mick Jagger and Keith Richards of the Flyers. They were just there forever. But very often we get a couple of hired guns to come in. We get, there'd be the 4-piece and then there'd be the 5-piece band. And the 5-piece would always we'd have a fiddler, or we'd have a harmonica player, or we'd have Al Widmeyer on dobro, or we'd have somebody just as the band plus. And I got to hear a lot of really good fiddle music. And it was great at the festivals to hear the fiddle music. It was not so great in the hotel rooms, because I remember the few times I got to go to the after parties. There's a certain volume level that happens with fiddlers. And so you'd go to the after parties really early, and it would just be Jackie Washington sitting playing the piano in like C sharp, which was the key he learned to play the piano in. And slowly people would come in and they'd do all this delicate stuff that I like, all the flowery, folky finger style stuff, ragtime guitar, all this stuff. And then the fiddlers would come in. And when the fiddlers came in, guitar players had one job, and that was to go 1 5 1, and all this gorgeous stuff would happen over top, and you'd just be sweating just putting that out there. Oh, I got to hear so many great fiddle players. I grew up listening to John Allen from Prairie Oyster, who played with the Flyers a lot. Peter Robertson. And I was there during the Graham Townsend years. Graham Townsend was one of Canada's great fiddlers. He was born in the 40s, and he won the Canadian National Exhibition Fiddle Contest when he was 9 and 10 and 11, and then he stopped because it just wasn't fair, because he just kept getting better. He was there for a lot of the early festivals when I was just a kid. And I thought about, how I could do, something for them. And I had to put something together because I need a guy to go. I need a guy to do the stuff in the background. And earlier this afternoon, that was me. So I'm gonna do just for everybody, because there's too many fiddlers to do something that I remember from everybody. But I do remember the running gag with St. Anne's Reel is, how many fiddlers does it take to play St. Anne's Reel? And the answer is all of them, apparently. Get the levels right on this. If you'll forgive the... This is in D if you want to join in. also been, as you might imagine, a long time since I played a reel. But such as it is. Believe it or not, a lot of these songs I've never played. Okay, St. Anne's Reel everybody's played, but a lot of these songs I've never played live before. But I just got to thinking about the songs that everybody loved. And I mean, my set is a little bit eclectic and weird. But there are songs from the festivals that I love that not a lot of people remember. And then there are other songs that pretty much everyone seems to remember. And this is not a song I knew very well, but this is a song that you can't do a Southwestern Ontario festival set without doing this song. I remember I was in Hamilton one year, and musicians get, musicians back each other up all the time, especially if you play a lot of bluegrass. You would sometimes, like if I was on a stage and somebody said, okay, St. Anne's Reel in D. It's always in D. That's the warning you'd get. You'd get somebody saying, okay, I'm going to do this one in F. Go. And thankfully, the beauty of the three chords and the truth songs is you can follow them. And I made one of my great festival embarrassments. Was because you do that for everybody, and I was lucky enough to be on stage with Valdy once, and Valdy played this song, and of course, when you're in the band, you just, or when you're on the stage, you play along with everything, and I'm sure he's forgotten about it now, but I was so mortified. Because when you know a song, or when you don't know a song, when you've never played a song, you just use your chord ESP. And for 99% of the festival stuff I played with, I was always right on the chords. And this is a song that was actually written by David Bradstreet. And David Bradstreet snuck in this E7th, this criminal E7th. That is like the beautiful part in this song. But if you don't know it's there, you can't play it, and you just make whoever's actually playing sound really out of tune. It took me the whole song to figure out what it was, and I felt so horrible because I was missing it all the way through. And if you play a D minor instead of an F, you're probably fine. But this weird floating E7th that bends the song was I missed it when it mattered, and so maybe by playing it today, for the people who can't go to a festival without wanting to hear this song, maybe playing it today will be my 20 years later reckoning and my atonement. I like the way that your hair falls away when the night brings a candle to you. And I like to stare as you come down the stairs and the light from the landing shines through. How many fallen trees will it take to believe that autumn has finally come? Weather's grown colder, and we've both grown older. It's hard to believe we're still one. So let's dance the old dance once more. We'll still move it smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you'll wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door and let's dance the old dance once more. hung around, kept my face on the ground when I acted as proud as a fool. We were kids, now we've grown, we've got kids of our own, got to raise by the old family rule. But somehow it seems that some of our dreams got discarded somewhere on the road. And all that was true could be found in the blue of your eyes that still sparkled and glowed. So let's dance the old dance once more. We can still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you'll wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door, let's dance the old dance once more. Now the Frost King has come, and with a flick of his thumb, turned our windows to Renaissance art. As we sit down round the fire with no need to inquire about the ways of the soul or the heart. The years pass us by like a soft whispered sigh, not noticing life as it flew. It's easy to tell that you wear your age well, not trying to prove you're still you. So let's dance the old dance once more. You can still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door, let's dance the old dance. Let's dance the old dance once more. We'll still move as smooth on the old ballroom floor. I'll wear my Sunday best, you wear your favorite dress. Lock up the door, let's dance the old dance once more. That's a nice song. The more I hear it, the more I fall for it. Should do this before it gets too late, because I do have neighbors. I believe I've done this one before, but it occurs to me that people who are back for, festival memories may have memories that reach back farther than mine. I remember who played in 2004 and 2000 and 98 and 96 and 92 and 88 but I never did have a chance to go to a festival, at least not when I was old enough to remember. I never got to hear Stan Rogers, and I sure got to hear a lot of people who got to hear Stan Rogers, but it is a hole in my festival going experience, but it's a very big part of a lot of people's was the force of nature that was Stan. And I couldn't very well do one of these, particularly as a Londoner, because he used to spend a lot of time in London, I think. I know that I've done this one before, but I will never get tired of it, and this is a benevolent dictatorship, so brace yourself for more of the same, because no matter how many times I hear this song, I will never get tired of it. And it's just about the only thing I know the words to by heart, which is the deciding factor. She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper he'd been drinking, and the mate he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock, and she was dealt her mortal blow, and the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. It was just us 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We'd worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down and caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter'd rise again. Making people wait for that chorus is my secret weapon. The owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and met her sorry end. But insurance paid the last of them, so let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we had to go. But we talked of her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000, afloating at the dock. And with every jar that's hit the bar, we swore we would remain. Make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. How those who loved her best and were with her to the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in hard hat suits and twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. But we've patched her wrench, Dr. Pinch, dog patch and porthole down, put tables to her fore and aft and girded her around. Tomorrow noon we'll hit the air and then take up the strain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Everybody, rise again, rise again. And that her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. How those who loved her best and were with her to the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, a-floating through the gale. And the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, oh, they won't be laughing in another day. And you, to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with lying bastards smiling at you everywhere you go, turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a heart, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Here's a there's an E again. There we go. I'm gonna put the trusty personal injury harness on again. They make you learn how to, you know, in law school they make you learn these things pretty well. Let me see if I have. You really want to mess with somebody's day. You take all their harmonicas and you move them into the wrong the cases that don't have the right sticker on them. That is the deadliest prank. Funny story. I never knew this, but if you ever are lucky enough to see any videos of Willie P. Bennett performing, he learned to play the harmonica upside down. I don't know whether that was by accident or, but the low notes are on the opposite side. And if you ever watch him play, you'll see that he's got his harps in the rack upside down. This is a song that I bet not a lot of people will remember this one. But it is really hard to do a sentimental song entirely straight and sell it. And I remember this song. This is a Richard Knechtel song, and Richard Knechtel might be most famous to the festival crowd as Dickie Bird, the children's entertainer, but he has a number of great albums of his songs, and you know, check them out. Green Tree Music is the site. I'm gonna plug everybody, you can bet. But one of my earliest music memories where I started thinking, you know, this stuff is cool and I should do more of this, was my dad worked on one of his albums, and I have no idea where it was. Maybe it was in Hamilton, maybe it was recorded. It was recorded in a studio, and I have very, very vague childhood memories. I had a little suitcase, and I carried all my cartoons in there, and I would, I remember him taking me to one of these recording sessions, or one of these mixing sessions, and I sat in the front lobby of this music studio, while they were in the booth doing this album. And to this day, like a lot of these songs I had to like go out and learn specifically for this set, and this song came back to me really, really easily because I heard it so many times in the mixing process that even though I was drawing little stick figure Star Wars cartoons with, you know, highlighter lasers, so I must have been like 7 or 8, or not much more. But this is one of the songs off Like an Old Friend, which is the CD that I was lucky enough to be in the lobby while it was getting mixed. And I apologize again for the harp because I know all these great harmonica players and I am not one. And I just gotta do the best I can. Oh God. In these ever-changing times, to have someone beside you, and on a special night like this, whose kisses never leave you wanting more than this, from a world so magic this, from a day so perfect this, from a night so full of love. When you show me how you feel, I will never be alone, and I'm holding on to you. For I never wanted any more than this, from a world so magic this, from a day so perfect this, from a night so full of love. Like a wildfire, like a rainbow, like a setting sun, like a blue sky, like a songbird, like the ebbing tide, like a full moon, like a mountain, like a summer breeze. Like a wildfire, like a rainbow, like a rising sun, like a blue sky, like a songbird, like the ebbing tide, like a full moon, like a mountain, like a summer breeze. So I sang a song for you, and I sang a song for me, and to tell the truth to you, I must tell the truth to me. You're more than this, from a world so magic this, from a day so perfect this, from a night so full of love this, from a world so magic this, from a day so perfect this, from a night so full of love. That's one that stays with you. Although, I mean, obviously all of these songs stayed with me. Here's an unlikely one, but I think Chekhov, the playwright, not the starship helmsman, had a saying about if you put a gun on stage in Act 1 of a play, you have to fire it by Act 3. Or you're cheating the audience. And those of you who are watching this in glorious widescreen will notice that there is a small mandolin just on the corner of the camera view. And having put it there, I'm now obligated to do something with it. And I don't know if this falls under folk or not. I think, I mean, by definition, anything you do on one of these has belongs in the Chekhov Bluegrass Band. But this is a song that it's a song I like, and so I'm going to play it. And somewhere in its recent history, the Home County Folk Festival became the Home County Music and Art Festival, so I guess that means, you know, you can plug in a little bit more these days. This is a song that Colin Linden played on one of his solo CDs. Colin Linden has pretty much played with, as far as I know, everybody. He's in Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. He is, I suppose, a rodeo king. But he's done all kinds of terrific blues stuff. And he did an album in 1995. I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago when it came out. And it blew my mind because it had, the personnel on it were basically the lineup of the band. Robbie Robertson wasn't there, but his touring band basically was the band, and it sounded like it. There were so many great musicians on it, and they had that sound. And so this is another one that I've had to do. I've had to back myself up on, but hopefully it will be worth the juice will be worth the squeeze, as they say. And this whole album was fantastic, and it's probably one of my... If I can get the levels right, it'll sound good here, but we will see. Wish me luck, because I've never done this before either.
There's a light shining from another shore, rolling through the fog. There's a cold wind blowing through my back door, and the firewood's almost gone. The snowfall and the ceiling beams is melting through the cracks. I'm gonna spruce these windows out and paint these mirrors black. I've got no place I can run. I've got no sin left undone. Out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness. Tell me, how does it feel when you come out of the wilderness? I got lost on the way to town, the winter froze my feet. I went to grab my compass, but my compass would not read. So I stumbled through the forest, and I thought that I was cursed. I've been abandoned and I've been saved, and I don't know which is worse. I wanna shed this crown of thorns, feel like a baby being born. Out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness. Tell me, how does it feel when you come out of the wilderness? Tell me, how far am I from the kingdom? Tell me, how far am I from the kingdom? From the kingdom, yeah. Gonna sleep down on that shore, and I won't feel trouble no more. Out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness. Tell me, how does it feel when you come out of the wilderness? When you come out of the wilderness. battles of wilderness.
Seems a shame to have one of these and not use it. Another of my favorites. I love this. I just get to show you basically through my record collection, which is a delight all unto itself. There's no pressure. There's no great and abiding need to work through the catalog on my now trending CD, Desolation Sound, which is available now for purchase or streaming at a reputable Bandcamp site near you, lukemaynard.bandcamp.com. And there's no need to pressure myself to play that stuff when I can just be like, here's another song by somebody else I really like. So here's another song by somebody I really like. I used to play this in C, and I used to play it open, and it was not until I saw Willie P. Bennett do this at a private event that I realized how he did this song. And I could never get, there's this one, it's kind of like David Bradstreet's Renaissance. There's a little dissonance in it that I could never quite get, and I could never get it when I played it in C. So I'm having the best time. Thank you all for being here. The best time but for this wire. My first stop when this pandemic is over will be to get somebody to sort out this buzz, because until then it's just a constant annoyance in my life. And in the meantime, here's a song with just that little bit of dissonance recovered, because you can't do it justice without the arrangement. For a very short period of time, when Willie was on the road, his phone was in our house when I was just a toddler, and so he, stayed, and he'd play the most beautiful chords, and he'd say, is this a chord? What's this called? What's this named? And nobody would know because it was just the most beautiful sounds. And that he just wrote by the seat of his pants and wrote some of the best songs ever, and he gets to have two. So here's another.
I was younger, in the days of my youth, I used to sit and watch the river go down, send my dreams around the bend, hoping they'd come back again. A long time's gone by, at least once a day I'd sit and think about when you were holy, so eager to see what we might find. Funny how we lost the time. You wonder why I wake at night, I just can't get to sleep. It's not the devil or the feeling inside, the peace of mind I see. You stand there staring, I'm standing laughing, 'cause I come all this way, and all you ever said was that's okay. can tell by your surprise you've been doing fine. Don't give me no more lies. I'll understand it all in time. Music in your eyes, God, I love to watch you dance. Don't be feeling shy, I know you know how. And you're not sleeping now. Came in through this town, I knew my hands were bound. They said you had to pay for your ways or else go underground. Music in your eyes, I can tell by your surprise you've been doing fine. Don't give me no more lies. Understand it all in time. We'll understand it all in time. Don't put me in a hole, that's not the way to prove it. You have to keep on changing my face till I can quit being confused by music in your eyes. I can tell by your surprise you've been doing fine. Don't give me no more lies. You'll understand it all in time. You'll understand it all in time.
It's a lot of fun doing these. It is certainly an experience all its own to come up with this many songs, and I'm not even going to get to all the songs I would love to do. This is cheating because this is not somebody who ever came to the festivals I played. Although I've heard he does Mariposa quite a bit. And just a month or two ago, Gordon Lightfoot just put out a new album at 81. And I also was there 20 years ago when he was in really rough shape. Thank you all for coming, I'll see you soon. But I remember when he was in really rough shape and we didn't think we were going to get a lot more music from him. And there was this little period, and then he just got better and better, and his voice just came back and got stronger, and he's still making music to this day. And I know, Gordon Lightfoot does not necessarily need my signal boost quite as much as everyone else. I'm sure he's still getting, his check from the Stars on 54 cover of If You Will Read My Mind. They never did a techno-dance remix of Renaissance, which I think is probably for the best. But they did a techno-dance remix of this, and for that reason I do this song just to restore its dignity and return it to its rightful home, and like the Elegant Marbles, to the world of songwriters. That sounds really deep, but I can probably get down there.
You could read my mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie, bound goes from a wishing well. In a castle dark, or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet, you know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm the ghost you cannot see. And if you could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, like the kind the drugstores sell. When we reach the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. But heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again, because the end is just too hard to take. I walked away like a movie star gets burned in a three-way script. So enter number 2. A movie queen to play the scene, bringing all the good things out in me. For now, love, let's be real, I never thought I could act this way, and I got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like that old-time movie, bound goes from a wishing well. In a castle dark, or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet, but stories always end. And if you read between the lines, you'll find that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack. I never thought I could feel this way. I got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but your love is gone, and I just can't get you back. La, da, 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 da.
This has been a real joy. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Amanda Lynn, for staying while you could. Now that people have occasionally had to go, I need to put something on here to make people go, oh, I missed that. So here's one more thing that rock and roll players don't know how to do, and that is... and that is play an appropriate fiddle shuffle on guitar strings, which maybe guitar players don't know how to do, I don't know. But for those who appreciate watching me sweat, here's the other famous Orange Blossom special. Oh, I got it.
All aboard. Coming down the railroad track. You're coming. Ooh, coming down the railroad track. It's the orange blossom special. And it's bringing my baby back. Those of you who have seen a lot of Fiddlers know what's going to happen to this song. California, gonna get some sound in my shoes. Ooh, ride that orange blossom special. Lose these New York blues. She's the fastest train on the line. It's the orange blossom special down the seaboard, rolling down the seaboard line.
Well, I fell off the train, but I got back on it. These are things you don't do without a safety net. What else can I give you? Here's a Scott Merritt song. I can't very well do festival season without doing a Scott Merritt song. This one is... I don't know why I'm drawn to the old songs. Maybe because almost all of Scott Merritt's CDs have been re-released. Almost all of his LPs have been re-released as CDs. And he's still making great albums. And there are these wonderful minimalist sound paintings. But I found out, I grew up listening to Serious Interference. That was my Scott Merritt album. That was from like 1983. I found out, I don't know, at a fairly young age that there was an earlier record called Desperate Cosmetics. And I must have looked for like 30 years. Maybe not 30 years. I'm not that old. Ugh. I'm really close to that old. I probably looked for 20 years to find it. And this was one of these beautiful little songs off of this very first CD, of which I don't know how many copies exist. Probably as many as exist of Desolation Sound, my own first CD, which maybe in 30 years people will have to hunt for just as hard. Who knows, you might be holding on to a collector's item of your own. And people will laugh that, you know, you have a CD in the age of whatever hologram technology they have, but you might be glad you have a Luke Maynard Desolation Sound CD someday. In the meantime, here's a Scott Merritt song. I hope I get all the words on it, because it's a very a beautiful little song and it's very precise. And I don't know if anyone has ever played it since that CD. But these are great songs and they deserve to be on the list. So here is The Shallow Soil. Bad men sit alone upon that cliffs of stone. They hear the surf below. Those who struggle in the waves against the course of age. Defy the hands of grace, but they can live to point the way. Where the sailors find their ships again, and the soldiers lay their guns away by the winds of fleeting sorrow, where the white surf heals tomorrow, and the old friends find new hope again to rise above the shallow soil.
world will grow you small. When the womb of the earth calls, we will rise up one and all and shine to point the way where the sailors find their ships again, and the soldiers lay their guns away by the winds of fleeting sorrow, where the white surf heals tomorrow, and the old friends find new hope again to rise above the shallow soil, to rise above the shallow soil.
Oh, this poor guitar has been through so much. That can't be right. I gotta be tuned way down. Here's a random fact about me. Because I can never think to find a guitar tuner, and I live in the age of computers. I almost exclusively tune my guitars to the sound of the Sultans of Swing, the Dire Straits song, only because it is the most precisely tuned studio track I've ever heard in my life. So that is exactly how I find. That is exactly how I find. I tune the D string, which is in the middle, and then I tune everything to that. I'm getting a lot of buzz now, but so I'm going to do a couple more songs. I will take a swing at these destinations just because I spent way too long learning the solo on this to not play it, especially when I have the all the tracks I need to go with it right here, and pulling them out on an occasion like this seems like the best way to fill out the fact that I have no band. But this one is the lead track off the CD. It's the one with, single quality to it. So here we go. It ought to start on its own. I have to keep the guitar free on this one so I can get that solo. Well, I always come in too soon. I've been on the lonesome road, cuts clean through Ontario, winds its way out west to where the trees turn every shade except a shade of white. Once a wise man told me that this thing we call the lonesome road not so very lonesome if we only learn to listen to the radio. 30 stations come and go, and bridges made a static stand between the destinations of a broken up and tangled little countryside. All the little farmers' fields are alternating green and brown and yellow, back to green and brown and yellow, back to green and brown and yellow, till the light is gone. And I've watched these destinations for a long time stop
Well, the girls here in Vancouver are all customized and metal ringed and peaceably assembled in the smoky basement of a hippie factory. Over in Victoria, they read Phantasmagoria and go to bed so early that the downtown bars are empty as the homeless house. The Victories and old Chevelles have all seen tours of duty. They remember when the world was just a pocket full of countries in an unknown sky. All the woman bought with box tops by a man tattooed with nightmares is the only thing that's left of all the promises of places that a road can buy. Soon the road is gone, and I've watched these destinations for a long, long time. This will last an easy part and a hard part. The hard part. So I met this girl and fell in love. She had a cat the color of the light that sprays across my arm when at last the sun gives way from day to twilight's glow. Mine was sharp as broken glass, and God, she held on tight to me, and every word she said was like a knife that stabbed my sorrow in its filthy heart. Well, I've been on the lonesome road that slashes through Ontario, and empty as a homeless had I reached the understanding that I love her so. And once a wise man told me that this thing we call the lonesome road is not so very lonesome if we let our hearts direct us where they want to go. But the road goes on, and she'll be my destination for a long, long time. Still the road goes on, and she'll be my destination for a long, long time. She's gonna be my destination for a long, long time. Thank you for indulging the songs that if you are a festival veteran you probably haven't heard before, because I've put in for a while to play them for you, but hope springs eternal, I guess. Hopefully I will see everybody in 2021 in the flesh. And I'm more than happy to bring back some of these wonderful songs from people who will no longer be there to play them for us. I try to be, as much as I can, a historian and a repository for these things. I think of what what Rycooter does for Americana, for music in the United States, and then I think to myself, and I realize that the people whose music he plays, I also know. I do listen to Joseph Spence and to all the really early Leadbelly stuff, and then I think of the stuff from Canada, this whole generation of outstanding songwriters that flourished in the Smales Pace scene before I was ever anything but a drooling toddler. I quit that drooling toddler gig around my early 20s, but there is a lot of great music, and I'm going to try to keep it alive as long as I can. So
thank you for coming and revisiting a lot of these songs with me. It's been a real pleasure, and I've snuck more than my fair share of my own in the set. I'm going to leave you with one that is, I guess it's really been about 3 hours, so that's a heck of a live set to do all the heavy lifting for. Now that I think about it, there's not a lot of places to hide. Especially an Orange Blossom special. That was a train wreck, so to speak. But it's committed to memory now. And so I'm going to do a song that is also off the CD, and it's definitely another shout out. This is an original, but it's a style shout out, if you will, to the people who played the festivals for years and years. I still think of Jackie Washington, Mose, Scarlett, and Ken Whiteley as sort of the beating heart of the folk festivals. And in case there was any doubt, the One More Song off of the CD is very much a tribute to them. So I will play that to play us out. And I'm going to come back and do this again sometime because there's lots more songs. I enjoy doing wacky covers of like songs from people that everyone has heard of. Okay, sneaking a Gordon Lightfoot in was, bringing a big gun, but I've got lots of time to do more of these. So thank you so much for coming and making this an enjoyable experience. I have literally no idea. I mean, my friends are talking, and that's fantastic, and I'm so glad you're all here. I send love to everybody. But I really have no sense of whether I've got 20 people or 200 or, goodness knows. So I'm going to play one more song for everybody, especially because it's called One More Song, and that's kind of the gag. But if you remember the number of festivals that have been rained out or mostly rained out, I have fond memories holding the big yellow and white plastic tarps over the speakers so that people could finish their sets before the thunderstorms hit. And this is very much a song for them. I'm very sad that we're not going to get a home county this year for the first time in 46 years. But we will be back in 2021. I am 100% sure. And by we, I mean, they and hopefully me. I'll send them a nice letter. But this is always a song I imagined being not a goodbye, but a see you next time kind of song. So everybody's got to have one of those. So thank you for coming. And I'll try to do this justice.
We used to spend our days dreaming of the ways that we could leave this town behind. No sooner than we do, we end up feeling blue for the troubles that you leave here. Our troubles still in mind. We say we're all worn out. That's what it's all about. But you never do leave home, my find. You might walk a lonely road, you might bear a heavy load, but home is just a melody that time cannot erode. Just play me one more song to last the whole year long, and I'll sing you when the summer rains come calling, when the balmy brewery breeze spins some merits from the trees, and old friends spin their stories set to melodies like these. Child, don't you cry, don't you say goodbye. We'll never find a way to get away, to get away. We're never really gone. We might say we're moving on, but we'll be rained on before long. On the same rainy day, we'll be rained on some same rainy day. Guitar. Down, down, scat down, zap down, down, scored over the down, stuff up here, down, zap down, tip top of the down. Just give me one more song to last the whole year long, and I'll see you when the summer rains come calling. When the balmy brewery breeze spins some berries from the trees, and old friends spin their stories set to melodies like these. Child, don't you cry, and don't you say goodbye. We'll never find a way to get away, We're never really gone. We might say we're moving on, but we'll be rained on before long. On the same rainy day, we'll be rained on soon on some same rainy day. Oh yeah, we'll be back again on some same rainy day. Au revoir. Thank you so much for coming. This has been good for the soul. I hope it's been good for your soul as well. If you liked what you heard, follow the account. Check out the available CD Desolation Sound and look for new projects on the horizon soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all my friends for coming out and filling out the front seats. And I will see you again next time. Talk to you all real soon. Mad love to everyone.